You can stay. You can stay. That's fine. All right. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Your next question?
Mr. Baruch, were
We're
you
back.
still?
Okay.
Thank you for coming back.
Yes.
Were you still living in penthouse 2 of the Eastern Columbia building on May 21st, 2016?
Yes.
Do you recall what you were doing that evening?
Yes.
What were you doing?
I was out. It was evening time. I'm out in the neighborhood, and I'm on my way home. I get a phone call from my friend who wants to know if I want to go out and eat. I said I just ate, but I'm 5 minutes away from the Eastern Columbia building home, and go across the street, get something to eat, and bring it up for takeout, and we'll go upstairs to my joint and we'll eat. And yeah.
Did you meet your friend back at the Eastern Columbia building?
Yeah.
Around what time was that?
9:30.
What happened after you met your friend?
We went upstairs.
Can we pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 116 again, please? And Your Honor, given that this has already been admitted, I'd ask that it be published.
All right. That's fine. You can publish it. You just can't see it. It's not on this. Okay. You still have it?
Mr. Baruch, is it on the screen in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Mr. Baruch, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about what happened after you went upstairs that evening. And it may be helpful for you. There are controls on that screen that you can use to sort of mark the exhibit to show the jury the spots that you're talking about and identifying.
So if you just touch it, it'll make a mark. So you don't have to touch the top. That's fine.
Do I touch
No.
something on menu here?
No, you don't. Nope. Just wait, and you can
Oh.
touch it whenever she needs you to mark it.
Just wherever I touch it, it's going to make a mark.
It will.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Baruch, when you got upstairs that evening with your friend around 9:30,
Yeah.
what did you see?
We got out of the elevator, and just like in the graph, you make a left and then you turn the corner. When we walked out, I noticed on the floor there's shards of glass. There's pieces of glass, and so I was just looking, going, oh, something busted. Could be one of the sconces or something like that, and kept walking.
Can you mark on the exhibit where you saw the broken glass that evening?
Yeah. Boom. Right there. Right where you could go left or you could go right. And if you wanted to go to the pool area, there's an exit that way. So you could either go right or you go left. You go left, you're in the apartment, going in the hallway through the apartment, or you go right there in that spot.
And did you continue on to your penthouse after you saw the broken glass?
Oh, yeah. So we walk around, and then we make the turn. We hang the right past penthouse 5, and we stop right in front of, right here.
And why did you stop right there?
Oh, stopped in front of here, penthouse 1, which is it's more right there, because there's this puddle of wine, huge puddle of wine on the floor that's in front of the door, and there's the splashed wine that's dripping down the wall. And so we stopped, and I'm looking at it and going, look at this. Someone must have got hammered. These guys probably had a party. And at that point, right then, as soon as I said that, the door opens up. And it's Josh Drew, who pokes his head out the door, only enough for his head to come out. And he's pretty bug-eyed and looks distraught. And I look at him and I go, what's up with the spilt wine? And I'm figuring I'd get an explanation or whatever. And he says, he looked at me and just said, rough day, had a rough day. And at that point, I got concerned and said to him, because I'm friends with him, you know, I got concerned. I said, hey, you okay? You want me to help you with something? Do you need help? He said, no, it's okay. We got it. And I said, okay. And me and my buddy took off and went into my place.
And what did you do after that?
My buddy ate. I believe he had pizza from across the street, and we talked. We yapped for a while, and you know, could be I could yap, so it could, you know, it could take. We were there probably an hour and change or something like that, and then you know, we're done. So I walked him out and walked down. Went to the elevator, walked out, went to the elevator. We went downstairs. I walked him out the door, finished the conversation that we were having, and I said, "All right, see ya." And then I went back in. I went upstairs and I went to bed.
Around what time was that you went back into the Eastern Columbia building?
You know something? If we got there at like around 9:30, and we're talking, I don't know, an hour, an hour and a half, 2 hours, you know, somewhere around 11 o'clock, I would think.
We can go ahead and take Exhibit 116 down. Mr. Baruch, can you describe for the jury the events of the next day, May 22nd, 2016?
Yes. It's my birthday. May 22nd is my birthday. I wake up, I end up texting Johnny and saying, hey, I'm going to be in town, because he's not staying at the Eastern Columbia building. He's staying in a house in town, okay? And so I texted him, it's my birthday. I said, listen, I'm going to be in town. I'm going to come by and to have a birthday drink. Okay. I didn't hear from him, you know, I didn't get an answer back, but I said, that's what I'm doing. If that happens, that happens. But, so it was around noon time, so I left. I walked out of my apartment, and I go through the hallway, as you see the graph. I go through the hallway, and I turn the corner from Penthouse 3, and as I'm walking down, well, who do I see? I see a group of people. It's a guy in black clothes, a black shirt, black pants, Amber Heard, and I see Josh Drew, who's leaning up against the door, and the door is open. This door is open. Something's going on, and as I'm walking up, I'm saying, hey, what's up? What are you guys doing? And then Amber turns to me as I'm walking up. Amber turns to me, and she says, Johnny came by last night. He got violent, so I'm changing the locks on 1, 3, and 5. And I'm looking at her, and she goes, oh, and don't worry about 2. You're okay. And at this point, I'm now walking past. So now we're all in front of the open door of the apartment, and I see there's 2 guys, 2 locksmiths working on the door. So now I'm standing on one side, and you have Josh Drew on one side of the door. You got the 2 locksmiths with the door open, working on it. Sunlight's the sun's coming through the door. Sunlight from windows, and then Amber is in front of me, and there's the security guy, and that we're 2 feet away from each other, talking, and she introduces me as she's finishing saying, "Oh, don't worry about your apartment." She says, "Oh, and this is a security guard that I got who's going to be hanging around," and I got introduced. She introduced me to him, and I shook his hand. He gave me a card, which I lost, and I'm kind of taking this in and going, and I said, wait, what happened? What's going on? And at that point, Josh Drew looks at me and gives me the high sign to like, hey, follow me. I'll tell you in private. And
Mr. Rich, when you were speaking with Ms. Hurd, how close were you standing to her?
like I said, I'm 2 feet, a foot and a half, 2 feet away. We're all 2 feet.
And how was the lighting in that area?
There's lights in the hallway, but we're standing in an open doorway that the wall is all windows. Sunlight's coming through, and you could operate in this light. There's that much light.
Did you notice any marks on her face when you were speaking with her?
No,
Did you see any bruises?
no,
Did you see any redness?
no,
Did you notice any swelling?
no,
Did it look like Ms. Hurd was wearing any makeup?
no.
Had you seen her wearing makeup before?
Yeah,
And you had seen her not wearing makeup before?
yeah. I've seen, like I said, with the face mask, doing a face mask, no makeup, hanging around, waking up in the morning, no with makeup, glammed out to go out. And it's 3.5 years of seeing her in different forms.
Did you speak with Mr. Drew about anything at that point?
Well, yeah, after I said that, hey, what's going on? And he gave me the high sign to like, hey, follow him. We went into my apartment and had a conversation.
And what happened after you had that conversation with Mr. Drew?
We left the apartment and we go walking back towards Penthouse 1. And as I'm walking back, I say to Amber, as I'm walking up, he hit you? And she goes, yeah, he threw a phone at me and hit me. And I'm looking, because I had just seen her 2 feet away, and I'm going, where? And she puts her head out. She puts her face out like that for me to look at the right side of her face. And I'm looking, but at that point also, I'm looking, and I turn around, get on the other side. We're in the doorway. So I'm on this side with the light shining this way from the doorway with the lights above, but the sunshine. And she's got her face out like this, looking, to show me. And I'm looking, and I inspect the face. I'm looking at her forehead. I'm looking at the side of her eye. I'm looking at her cheek. I'm looking at her chin. I'm looking at the other side of the face. I'm looking at the whole thing. And I don't see anything. I don't see anything I don't see a cut, a bruise, swelling, redness. It's just Amber's face that she's going like this and showing me. So I'm not seeing anything. I back up and I'm making a joke. I make a joke going, well, I don't see anything, but maybe all the beauty from one side of your face to the other side of the face is outshining everything, so I can't see anything. And she's laughed and she's, smiled. And I just looked at everybody and said, hey, it sounds nuts. And I went and I said, I gotta go. And I gave her a hug and kissed her on that side of the face. And then I left. Said goodbye.
What was her reaction when you kissed her on that side of the face?
Nothing.
Did she flinch?
No.
Did you see Ms. Hurd again the next day?
Yeah.
When was that?
So that's Monday. That was May 22nd, my birthday. So then the next day is Monday, the 23rd. I had woken up with a chest cold, and I heard a knock on the door, and it's Amber. So I opened up the door.
Around what time was that?
That's, I want to say, maybe around noontime, maybe a little bit before. Maybe it could have been a little bit, I think around noontime again. And I went downstairs and I opened up the door.
And when you opened the door, did you have a good view of Ms. Hurd?
Absolutely, yeah.
How was the lighting?
Lighting's fine. Lighting from outside, and there's light from my place. Yeah, so the lighting was great.
Did you see any marks on Ms. Heard's face at that time?
No, same thing like the day before. There's no redness. There's no swelling. There's no bruises. There's no cuts. There's no nothing. Just Amber, looking like Amber.
Did you notice if she was wearing any makeup at that point?
She didn't look like she was wearing makeup then either.
What did Ms. Heard say to you during that encounter?
She was knocking on my door to see if I would take her house key, to let the cleaning lady in, because she had to go somewhere. And I woke up that day, and I had some kind of chest cold thing. I was upstairs laying down, and so I looked at her and I said, "Hey, listen, I'm feeling sick. I'm going to be upstairs laying down this entire time for the day or whatever, and that so I can't do it." And then she stood there and is like, "Well, I got to figure out what to do." Like maybe if she was only dependent upon me to give the housekeeper the key. It's the same. The housekeeper cleans both of our places. And so I said, "Hey, listen, why don't you go ahead and take the key and put it in an envelope and bring it downstairs to the concierge, and that's where the key will be, and tell Hilda, who is the housekeeper, that that's where the key is, and that's it, and you're set." And she was like, "Yeah, okay, I guess I could do that." And I'm 3 feet away from her, 2.5, 3 feet away from her, talking with her.
And how long did that conversation last?
3 minutes.
Did you see Ms. Heard again the next day?
Yes, I did.
Where did you see her?
All right. I go down. I'm leaving my apartment on Tuesday to go downstairs to the cafe to go get something hot to drink. I still haven't shopped or did anything for what's a chest cold, and so I wanted something hot to drink. I go downstairs, and as I'm locking my door, that all of a sudden a group of women come up to penthouse 3, because in the corridor on the graph you could see we share the same corridor. So I'm locking my door, and a group of women show up.
Did you recognize who the women were?
3 of them, yeah.
Who were they?
It was, something, I'm unsure if it was 4 or 5 women, but it's Amber, it's her sister Whitney, and it's Melanie Iglesias, who's a makeup artist for Johnny and Amber, and then there's 2 other women that I didn't recognize, but not sure.
Did you interact with the women at all?
Well, after closing the door, Whitney, who calls me her spirit animal, came running down the hallway, going, "Isaac, spirit animal," and I'm going, "Hey, listen, I'm not feeling so hot. I'm not feeling so good," and I duck under her arms, stop, and I love you, but stop, and I duck under her arms, and I go past, and I'm passing the other ladies, Amber and her, who she's with, and I'm looking at them, and they're laughing of this whole scene, and then that was it. And then I went past and went down and got some hot tea.
Did you see Ms. Heard's face during that encounter?
It was a quick glance, but nothing just shot out to me to notice anything.
Did you see Ms. Heard again the day after that?
Well, I saw her again that day.
Oh, can you describe that, please?
Yeah, that on the way back from me being outside at the cafe, having a tea, I come walking back in, and now all her and the women that she was with are coming back out, and we're in the lobby, and the doors of the lobby, it's all windows, great light shining through the entire lobby. And the women there's a table in the middle of the lobby, and her friends, or I don't know if they're friends or not. I know three. One's a sister, and the other one's a friend. They're walking on one side of the table, and then she's on the other side of the table where I'm walking, and now we're walking past each other, and she's, of course we're going to acknowledge each other and looking at each other, and now she's the sun shining right in her face. It's to my back because I'm walking in, and so that's like this, and saying, all right, enjoy yourself, have a good time, or whatever you're doing, and go by. And I went up. And that was it. That was the second time that I saw her. And that's on Tuesday.
And did you get a good look at her face during that second encounter?
Absolutely. The sun shining right on her face.
Did you notice anything unusual about her face?
Nothing. No cuts, no bruises, no swelling, no redness, no. It's Amber. It's Amber's face.
And then did you see Ms. Hurd again the day after that?
Yes, I did.
And that's Wednesday, May 25th?
That's right.
Where did you see her?
At that point, I was like, okay, I got to shop for something because otherwise I'm not going to get rid of this chest cold. I go to the store, and on the way back, in between the garage and the building, there's this room with like vestibule, that's you have to walk through. And I'm coming in to go into the building, and Amber and Whitney, her sister, are coming out of the building to go into the garage. And we met there.
How long did you speak with them, if at all?
Yeah, we spoke. We're facing each other. Amber and Whitney across from me. We're 2.5 feet, 2 feet away from each other, talking. Of course, and so we stop, of course, to say, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Where you going? Where you coming from? I have bags of food in my hand, of stuff that I went and I bought. And so I said, hey, I'm coming from shopping. I finally bought myself some stuff to get rid of this chest cold thing. And they go, and they're going to the CVS. And they look at me, and so what's yapping, everyone's smiling and stuff, and she says, "You sure we can't get you anything? How about we get you some aspirin or some cold stuff?" I said, "No, I think I got everything," and they said, "You sure?" And I said, "Yeah, of course, I got it. Don't sweat it," and. A kiss or whatever. I got my hands. I can't hug or whatever. So, and then I said to see you, and I went up, and they went through the garage. That was it that day.
Did you have a good look at her face during that conversation?
Yes, this room. Yes, yeah, this room. It's completely lit. That it's a spot, and there's a camera taking. Cameras always on, a security camera, and always, and so it's got good lighting and stuff. Because this is a spot where if you use your fob key to go into the building, well, the door takes a long time to, it's one of those things with the pressure thing that the door just doesn't close shut. It takes a while for it to close. Someone could be in the garage who's not supposed to be in the garage, run and hold the door open. And that then they get into the apartment building, and then who knows, maybe somebody gets ripped off. But so it's well lit for security reasons, and that there's a camera there. It's taking pictures, doing what the camera does.
Was Ms. Hurd wearing makeup during that discussion? Neither
of them looked like they were wearing makeup at all. Whitney had this hat on that it was a fun hat or whatever, and that No, it's no makeup. I don't even know Whitney to be a makeup person, and that Amber, no, she looked like she was, just natural Amber. It's all, just as always, no makeup.
Did you notice any marks on Miss Heard's face?
No.
Did you notice any swelling?
No swelling. No, there's nothing. There's no swelling, no bruising, no redness, no cuts, no, I don't even, nothing.
Turning back to May 21st for a second, when you first heard that Ms. Heard told you Mr. Depp had hit her, do you recall that?
Say that again?
When Ms. Heard told you that Mr. Depp had hit her on May 22nd.
Yeah, my birthday.
How did you feel hearing her say that?
All right. What's the relevance to how he felt?
I mean, it's a present sense impression of how he perceived that in that moment.
I'll sustain the objection.
Mr. Baruch, did you see Ms. Heard at all the rest of that week of May 23rd?
No.
Did you learn at some point in time that Ms. Heard had filed for divorce from Mr. Depp?
Say that again?
Did you learn at some point in time that Ms. Heard had filed for divorce from Mr. Depp?
Yeah.
How did you learn that?
I learned it from the internet. After the weekend, around at probably Monday, either Sunday or Monday, I'm on the internet and I end up seeing a picture of, it was the Friday of that week, the past week, and there's a picture of Amber wearing a black morning dress and with this brown mark on her cheek, and that she's been to a divorce. She went to go file for divorce. That's how I found out.
Were you surprised when you saw that?
Surprised is not the word. It's like, what the hell is this? What's going on?
At any point when you had seen her during that prior week, had she told you that she intended to file for divorce?
Objection. Leading.
I'll allow it. Go ahead. You can answer the question, sir.
What's the question again?
At any point when you had seen her during that week, had Ms. Heard told you that she intended to file for divorce?
No. She never once. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday or Friday, not even see it? No. There's no, I'm clueless. She did not say anything about divorce.
So what did you think when you saw those pictures and read the articles and learned that she was filing for divorce?
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, objection, relevance to what he thought.
It builds on all of the testimony he's given previously, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
When did you see Ms. Heard next after that?
She knocks on my door June 3rd, Friday night, June 3rd. She knocks on my door around 11 o'clock. Is the next time that I see her.
And what happened when she knocked on your door on June 3rd?
I opened up the door, and naturally, something I'll say is, hey, how you doing? To say hello. So I open up the door, say, hey, how you doing? And she looks at me and she says, I'm not feeling so hot that I made some food. Would you like to come over and eat with me? And at that point, after, everything I've seen, I looked at her, I said, listen, me and you, we're not going to talk anymore. After everything that I've just seen all week long, from the past week and change, listen, I'm confused, I'm angry, and I'm frustrated by everything that I've seen. And that I think the best thing is for me and you that we don't talk anymore.
Did she say anything in response?
Yes, in response to that, she looks at me and she says, I told Johnny I don't want anything. The lawyers are making me do all of this. And that's what she said.
Did you respond to Ms. Heard?
No, what I was thinking was that to me, when after saying that, after she said that to me, I'm thinking to myself, gay cock'em yum, hey, how, you know,
All right.
Honor.
I'll sustain that objection. Next question.
Did you see any injuries on Ms. Heard's face on June 3rd when you spoke with her?
no.
Did you ever speak with Ms. Heard again after that?
Well, she said to me, after that, the lawyers are making me do all of this. Then I was just looking at her, and then she ended what she was saying by saying, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. And I closed the door and would never talk to her ever again.
Did you have any interactions with the staff at the Eastern Columbia building about Ms. Heard's allegations against Mr. Depp?
Objection, Your Honor, may we approach?
Okay.
Mr. Baruch, did you have any interactions with the staff of the Eastern Columbia building about Ms. Heard's allegations against Mr. Depp?
Yes.
And at some point, did you see a security video taken in the Eastern Columbia building?
Yes.
When was that?
Sometime in June, maybe 2 weeks in or something like that. It's 2-3 weeks in.
Can you describe what you saw in that video?
Yes, I can. It was a video of Amber and Whitney waiting at the elevator, a mezzanine level, coming from the garage, obviously, and waiting for the elevator. And Whitney does this to Amber. Pow! And hits her, like faking hitting her in the face. Going, pow! And then they start laughing.
Did Ms. Heard react at all in that video to the fake punch that you observed Whitney throw?
Yeah, she's laughing. After doing it, they both, laughing at with each other.
Mr. Baruch, do you know who Elon Musk is?
Sure.
Have you ever seen Mr. Musk in person?
Yeah.
Where did you see him in person?
First time was I'm getting into the elevator on the rooftop, penthouse level. I'm going into the elevator, and he's coming out of the elevator, going past me.
And when did that take place?
This is after May. This is sometime June, it could be July, but after May.
In that same year, 2016?
Yeah.
And when was the second time that you saw Mr. Musk?
One morning waking up and going and opening up the shades to the bedroom, and it's on the second floor, and it overlooks the balconies, our adjoining balconies, because my balcony joins with John and Amber's balcony. And that opening up the shades, I see Elon Musk going through the balcony door on their side to then walk down a common corridor that then at the end leads to a door that you walk out to the rest of the rooftop. And you go to the pool, you go to the gym and stuff. So I'm looking out, and the view out the window is of both of our balconies. So that's where I saw him.
And when was that?
Oh, sometimes it's either June, July, but it's after May.
Mr. Baruch, how long have you known Mr. Depp?
Met him, I believe, in 1980, and what's 42 years? Well, it's going to be 42 years.
Have you ever seen Mr. Depp be violent when angry with Ms. Heard?
Objection leading.
I'll allow the question, okay.
I'm allowed to answer?
Yes, yes, sir.
What's the question again?
Have you ever seen Mr. Depp be violent when angry with Ms. Heard?
No. Well, from what I said from before, there was an argument that I walked in, so there's that, but have I ever seen him be violent to her with physicality? No.
Did you ever
Never.
see him hit her?
Never.
In your 3.5 years living at the Eastern Columbia building next to Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard, did you ever observe any injuries or marks on Ms. Heard?
Objection leading, Your Honor.
All right, I'll sustain as to leading. Okay.
Did you ever notice anything unusual about Ms. Heard when you were living at the Eastern Columbia building with her?
Objection leading, Your Honor.
I'll allow it.
I can answer?
Yes, sir.
What's the question again?
Did you ever notice anything unusual about Ms. Heard during the time that you were living next door to her at the Eastern Columbia building?
Besides having great teeth? No.
Mr. Baruch, are you appreciative of everything that Mr. Depp has done for you?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading and relevant.
All right, I'll sustain as to leading. All right.
Mr. Baruch, how do you feel about what Mr. Depp has done for you?
Objection. Well, you know what? No, I'll go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I think that's withdrawn. Go ahead. You can answer the question.
Oh.
Could just answer the question, sir.
And the question is,
How do you feel about everything that Mr. Depp has done for you?
oh, come on, it's unreal. It's, you think too much about it, you're gonna cry. That I appreciate everything that he's done for me. It's like stuff you can't pay back.
Would you lie for him under oath?
Oh, no.
Leading.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Have you given truthful testimony today, sir?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
It's still leading. I'll sustain the objection.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. All right. Cross-examination?
Let's start with the makeup. Now, you know that Ms. Heard was...
Excuse me. I
I'm
didn't
sorry?
hear the beginning of what you started saying.
I said, let's start with the makeup.
Okay.
Okay. You're aware that Ms. Heard has both modeled and been an actor and had been for many years before you met her, correct?
I knew she acted. I didn't know she was a model.
Okay. Were you aware that she had a commercial agreement with L'Oreal, for example?
When, now or back then?
What's your knowledge?
I don't know any of that.
Okay. Have you ever been with Ms. Heard when she has put makeup on?
I've been in the room, yeah, when makeup was getting put on her, yeah.
When makeup was being put on her, was this for some acting role or something like that?
It was an event that they were going to.
So that was somebody else applying makeup to Ms.
Yeah.
Heard, who was going to have some gala event that she was going to.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been with Ms. Heard in her bathroom or anything when she's applying her makeup in the morning?
No.
Okay. Are you familiar with Amica cream?
What is it?
Amica?
Amica?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Do you know what type of foundation Ms. Heard uses?
No.
Do you know what type of concealer Ms. Heard uses?
No.
Do you know what type of tint Ms. Heard uses?
I have no clue.
Do you know what types of powders Ms. Heard uses?
No.
So when you're saying that you didn't notice any makeup, would it be fair to say that you yourself are not familiar with what type of makeup Amber Heard uses on a daily basis?
I don't know what she uses on a daily basis.
That's my point. Now, the first time that you saw her, which was May 22nd,
Yeah.
Ms. Heard was there. Were you aware she was on her way to somebody else's birthday party, not yours, but somebody else's that day?
No.
Okay. Can you tell me what her hairstyle was that day?
It's just down.
Down as in?
Just regular. She has it up now. She's got some kind of hairstyle, but no, she was no hair down, regular, no makeup, just hanging.
Well, when you say no makeup, you don't know she was not wearing makeup, correct?
For a fact?
Correct.
No.
And you don't know whether she had applied Amica cream, correct?
No.
And
I
you-
didn't even know what Amica cream is.
And you don't know whether she had applied concealer or foundation or powder or tint, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, if she's going out to a party,
Yeah.
do you think she would want to have her bruise exposed?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
Calls for speculation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Okay.
Next question.
So, do you recall what Ms. Heard was wearing that day?
You know something? I could have sworn she had on a schmata dress, hippie dress at that particular time, but I could be confusing it with June 3rd. She's got this Victorian type of long hippie dress that has embroidery, and she definitely was wearing that night.
All right, but let's go back to May 22nd. Do you
Yeah.
recall what she was wearing?
I could have swore she was wearing another schmata dress that I've seen her hanging around the apartment with.
And do you recall what color?
No.
Okay. Do you recall what jewelry Ms.
No.
Heard was wearing that day? No. Okay. Now, you indicated that there was a security guard there, and there
Yes.
was Josh Drew, correct? And was there anyone else there?
Yeah, the two locksmiths.
Okay. So
And also in the apartment, for a fleeting second, a person went walking by and who seemed to me looked like it was Raquel Pennington, but it could have been another friend that was supposedly staying with them.
Okay, so you saw somebody come by. So how many?
No, go through the living room and then they're out of the picture because they went upstairs. So that's somebody that else was in that room but walking by.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you talked to Josh. What did Josh tell you? Josh
When?
Drew, he took you to the side. What did he tell you?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain the objection to hearsay.
All right. Before you spoke with Josh Drew in the other room, what, if anything, had been said about what Mr. Depp did the night before?
Objection to the extent it calls for hearsay, Your Honor.
All right, be a hearsay objection. I'll sustain that objection. Next question.
I'm asking what, if anything.
That was still solicit hearsay.
Well, but he already testified about what Amber said. I'll go back to that.
Okay.
So what exactly did Amber Heard tell you happened the night before?
As I was walking up the first time, she turned to me and said, Johnny came by last night and got violent. So I'm changing the locks on penthouse 1, 3, and 5. Don't worry about your place.
Okay. Did you ask her for any more specifics on what she
About
meant by
changing
getting
locks?
violent?
Huh?
Did you ask her for any specifics about what she meant by he came by and got violent?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to jump you to the next day for a few, and then I'm going to come back. But let's go to the next day. So the next day, you testified that you saw her twice, correct?
From Sunday? No, Monday I saw her once in the morning. I want to
That's when
say
she
around
came
12.
by to ask if you could have the key, or that you could leave the key for the house.
Right,
right?
for Hilda.
And you weren't feeling well, right?
That's right.
Okay, so you wouldn't have been standing very close to Amber, right? Because you were sick?
Well, I opened up the door and I'm holding the door. We're like 3 feet away from each other. Yeah.
Okay, and you told her you were sick, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know where, she was going out someplace, correct?
She was going somewhere.
All
Yeah.
right.
She wasn't going to be there.
All right. Do you know whether she had applied any Amica cream that morning to her face?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any concealer to her face that morning?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any foundation that morning?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any tint that morning?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any powder that morning?
No.
Okay. Now, the next day.
I can tell you, she looked like she wasn't wearing any makeup.
Right. And would you agree that people who are models and actors can be pretty darn good with putting makeup on so that you can't tell they're wearing makeup?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation calls for speculation.
I think that's a fair question to ask him.
I'll sustain as a speculation.
All right.
Next question.
Do you have any knowledge of the skills of Amber Heard with respect to putting on makeup?
Well, it can't be that good because she's got a friend who is a makeup artist who came over to do makeup, but I don't really know.
Right, and that makeup artist that comes over does it when she's going to be on some show or in some big public event or gala, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makeup person, and you're talking about Melanie Iglesias, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Okay. And that
Exactly.
makeup person doesn't put Amber's makeup on every day for her, does she?
I wouldn't know.
How many times did you see Melanie Iglesias put makeup on Amber?
One time.
Okay,
It's just one time.
okay. So she wasn't living at Amber's house, right?
No. I hung out with her and her husband and Johnny and Amber and over there one time eating, and then another time was when I met her that seeing her do makeup for these guys.
Okay, so you're not saying that Amber doesn't know how to put makeup on herself, correct?
Oh no, I'm sure she does.
Okay, but again,
I would
you've-
think she does, But for the most, I'll tell you what, over 3.5 years, living around each other, for the most part, she's not a makeup wearing person, completely natural. Her, Rocky, total great complexion, Texas natural girl next door, no makeup wearing, hanging out.
Did Amber ever tell you she was not wearing makeup?
Did she ever tell me?
In any of those 3.5
When?
years that you're saying she wasn't wearing it around the house, did she ever say, I don't have a stitch of makeup on?
As many times as she's told me, I am wearing makeup, which is, I can't remember. So I don't know. Yeah, no. There's not one time I remember that or saying that.
Okay, so now let's go to the next day. I think that's the day you've got the 2 times that you saw her. She's with other people.
Yeah.
And she's either going out or coming in, correct?
Well, first time they're coming in, and the second time they're going out.
So they've been out someplace before they're coming in, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation.
I'll allow it. You can answer the question, sir.
Oh, I have no clue.
Okay, but they're physically entering the house. In other words, they haven't been in the house, they're coming to the house from someplace, right?
Oh, I would have no idea. When I walked out, who knows? They might have been out and in twice before that, but I don't know. They
Okay.
could be coming from another apartment, coming, to go there, and I'm seeing them. It could be the second time that they're entering this apartment, or the first time, or the third time. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
And do you know, So you don't know where they were?
No,
And
of
so you
course
have
not.
no idea whether they were out in public someplace, correct?
No, of course not. I
All right.
wouldn't know that.
All right. And then the later time that you saw them that day, they were going out. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And do you know whether Amber had any Amica cream on that day?
No, I don't know.
And I'll try to make this faster. Do you know whether Amber was wearing concealer, foundation, powder, or tint that day?
I don't know.
Okay. Now, the next day, I think you said it was she and Whitney. Is that correct?
On Wednesday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, do you know whether she was wearing any Amica cream?
Sir, if you could just answer
I'm
the
sorry.
question.
I'm totally sorry. I'm
Thank you,
sorry.
sir.
That, no.
And do you know whether she was wearing concealer, foundation, powder, or tint?
No.
Okay. Can you tell me what Amber's hairstyle was on the 23rd?
That's Monday. Like I said, when she knocks on my door, hands down.
Okay. Can you tell me what she was wearing that day?
Not exactly, but if best of my recollection, pair of dungarees and a t-shirt.
Okay.
At the time when she knocked on my door to give me the key. If she went home to go change or something like that, I got no clue.
Okay. Do you remember what color the t-shirt was?
I think it might have been white, best of my recollection.
Do you remember what jewelry Amber had on?
Oh.
Okay, let's go to the next day, the Wednesday, and you've got all these people here.
Next day is Tuesday.
Okay, next day, Tuesday, is when you had the bunch of people coming together to her house the first time, right?
Right.
What was she wearing then?
You want to know something? I do remember of a women's beige long coat, kind of like a woman's, not a raincoat, but it could be similar to that. It was a beige, long, kind of looking like a business coat type of thing, a female version of a Columbo jacket.
Okay, and what was she wearing under it?
Oh, I have no clue.
Okay, and do you remember what jewelry she was wearing?
No.
Okay. Now, you said that on the 22nd that you kissed her on the cheek.
What day?
The 22nd, your birthday?
22nd, Sunday, yes.
Okay, so when you showed it the first time, you went like this, right? And then the next time when you said you did the kisses, you went like this. What's your typical way of kissing women when you greet them or say goodbye?
I'm not understanding any of what you just did.
Okay, so when you, well, I'll just leave it at Amber. When you, I take it that you would regularly kiss Amber on the cheek when you used to say hello and to say goodbye?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And tell us how you did that.
Objection,
Could you just
Your Honor.
show us how you did that?
Which time? Regularly? Oh,
Did you have a different way of kissing her on the cheek different times? Or did you have a general way that you would greet or say goodbye to Amber with kisses?
It's a regular, you give a peck on the cheek, or, like you just touch cheeks and
Okay.
that's that.
So it's a pretty soft, it's kind of like almost a superficial one, or is it a really hard one on the cheek?
No, it's you kiss someone on the side of the cheek. I don't know, pressure-wise, what kind of talk is there?
I mean, is
lip
it just
talk?
one of these little pecks, or is it much harder?
No, it's a regular. You touch, you touch and boink, and that's that.
So you think it was pretty hard? You peck her on the cheek pretty hard every time?
objection, Your Honor.
No, I'll sustain the objection if you want the next question.
Okay.
Kelsey.
You also showed that you did one like this. Did you ever do a two kiss when you greeted Amber? Two cheeks?
No, I'm not European. I'm from Brooklyn.
No.
You give, Europeans do the,
All right.
both sides. Sometimes you hit even three. Bam, 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 you know.
But you
so,
never did
no.
that.
No, no, no.
All right, let's go to the fake punch. I want to make sure that I understand exactly what you remember seeing.
Yeah.
You said that it was 2 to 3 weeks into June. Is that correct? That you saw it?
It's got to be somewhere in that period.
Okay.
To somewhere in the first three, I would say the first 3 weeks of June.
All right.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Can you recall which week?
No,
Okay. So you saw Whitney and Amber. Was there anyone with them?
no.
Okay. Do you recall what either of them was wearing?
Long jackets. Yes, actually I do.
Okay.
Long jackets. You know, overcoats.
And how was Amber's hair styled that day?
Down, pulled back.
Pulled back or
Well,
down?
it's when I say pull, you know, it's like hair's down, you know, maybe because of something around the neck or whatever, the hair is, you know, flipped back or whatever. Not tied back. I don't remember if it was tied back, but just where it's full. It's full.
Okay.
That I remember.
Okay. So now where were they standing when you watched this?
This is where would they stand?
Yes.
They're standing, waiting for one of the elevators on the mezzanine floor where there's, I guess you could see, there's cameras that, you know, has that view of the elevators
So
on the
they're on the-
mezzanine floor.
So they're on the mezzanine level.
Yeah, this is the same level. This is the same level. There's apartments on that level. And that's how the exit, how you get out to go to the garage.
And so were they coming back from the garage?
Well, if they're standing at the elevator outside, that it could be and waiting to get into the elevator on that floor. So it could be that maybe they came from outside, maybe they know somebody who lives on that floor because there's apartments there. I got no clue where they're coming from. That's not even in the thought process. When I see this, it's not like, wow, I wonder where they're coming from.
Okay.
No. It's
Okay.
just
So now
what I saw.
tell me where they were each standing.
As I'm watching the video, this tape, Amber's on the left and Whitney's on the right.
Okay. And then tell me, just take us through. Tell me what you saw.
Amber's on the left, Whitney's on the right. They're hanging out. Can I stand up?
Yes, sir.
And so here's Amber, here's Whitney, and they're hanging, waiting for the elevator. And Whitney they're looking at each other, yapping or whatever they're doing, and Whitney goes like this. Pow. Just a fake pow. And then they both start laughing, and then they're just standing there, yapping, doing what they're doing.
And how close does Whitney's fist get to Amber?
Oh, I'm watching this. It's a fake thing. It's not. It's
Right,
not
right.
like she went and she hit her own
No.
sister.
No, but I'm
She
asking
didn't go
how
and hit
close.
her. She just, going pow. If here's my face, if here's my face, it's just coming by. Fake punch going by. Just, that far.
Okay.
Just making believe. Just making believe. It's a
Okay.
believe punch.
Okay. And then they both laugh, you say.
Yeah, they both, they just start,
Did you watch them get on the elevator?
no.
Okay. So the part that you saw, the elevator never opened during that time.
That's right.
Okay.
That is correct.
And how many seconds would you say, or minutes would you say this little clip was?
Oh, what I saw was 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Okay. And do you recall what day that was?
That I saw this?
No. Was there a date on the video?
Oh, if there was, it wasn't something that I acknowledged.
Okay, good, thank you. All right, now let's go back to the argument that you witnessed between Mr. Depp and actually Ms. Hurd, who was on the phone or the speakerphone. Do you recall testifying about that?
Say this again, start again.
Yes, let's go back to, you testified that you observed an argument between Mr. Depp and Ms. Hurd. Do you recall that? You came into the room, Mr. Depp had Amber on speakerphone. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Depp was drunk. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you recall that Amber was actually in London, not New York?
No.
You don't recall that?
No, I thought I thought it was she was in New York.
Okay. And you recall that Mr. Depp was accusing Amber of sleeping with somebody, right?
There was somebody else in the room with her, and that's what they were arguing about.
Are you sure that Mr. Depp wasn't thinking there was someone in the room and she was trying to tell him there wasn't somebody in the room?
He, say that again?
Are you sure he wasn't saying someone was in the room and she was trying to convince him there wasn't anybody in the room?
Well, he said that he heard the other voice.
Okay, and did you hear the voice?
Oh, no. I
Okay.
walked in there already, this is already in motion.
Right, and Amber's saying, why are you saying that, right?
Amber was saying, "Come on, baby, why are you being like this? What are you doing? Come on, Johnny. There's no need. Why are you being like this?"
Right.
And it was taunting.
How is it taunting to say, why are you accusing me of having somebody in my room?
Because they were in the midst of no solution. At that point, it would be if instead of taunting, saying, "Listen, John, let's talk tomorrow, and let's end this conversation right now, and we'll talk tomorrow, and we'll get to an understanding." Because there's not going to be any solution right now. But there was none of that. It was just continuous, "Oh, baby, oh, baby."
So
And that kept it going.
if Mr. Depp, in his drunken state, was suffering from delusions and thought he heard a voice and wasn't, do you think it would have been reasonable for Amber to be saying, "What's going on? Why are you saying this? What's going on?"
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
I'll allow the question, if you can answer it. You can answer the question, sir, if you...
Would I think it would be what?
If Mr. Depp was suffering from delusions and there wasn't anybody in the room and he hadn't heard a voice but thinks he's hearing a voice, would it be reasonable for Amber to be trying to figure out what's going on?
Objection, Your Honor. Hypothetical speculation.
I'll sustain as a speculation to that question.
And the bottom line is, you came in on the call, so you don't know what he said first or whether there was any voices, correct?
Whether he heard voices?
Yes.
Besides hers?
Yes.
No, I didn't hear the beginning of the conversation.
Okay. And then after the hang-up, he went straight to bed, right?
No, after the first hang-up,
Right.
she calls back again, which was it necessary? I don't know. And
Do you
then
know
a third
whether
time,
she knew? Do you know whether she knew whether he accidentally hung up or not?
that he accidentally hung up.
Right. Do you know whether she knew whether he hung up intentionally or
No,
accidentally?
the same way that I wouldn't know if, like, she didn't know that the telephone line got cut.
Right. Okay. So after the 3 calls that you testified about, he went straight to bed, right?
Went to the couch and laid down.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was drunk.
Yeah, and he went to sleep. Yeah, he went out.
Do you know whether he'd taken any drugs that night?
No.
Now, you have known, you've already testified, you've known him for 42 years.
Yeah.
You didn't pay rent at the penthouse, correct?
No, no one did.
Right, okay. And then after you finished at the penthouse, you went over and lived with him in Sweetser, correct?
I live in one of his house that he owns on Sweetser.
And you still live there?
Yes,
And rent-free, correct?
yes.
Okay. And has, other than the 100,000, you never paid that back, right? The 100,000 that he's given you?
No, that's not. That's a thing that's a thing for me when how I look at it and stuff. At some point, I would love to pay back some that money, but that's not something that is expected. He's expecting.
Would you say
So-
you're kind of beholden to Mr. Depp?
No, I'm not beholden at all.
He's given you $100,000. He's put you in that nice.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear the whole question. Can you say it again?
You were rent-free in penthouses for a number of years, and now you've been rent-free ever since in Sweetser?
That's a nice friend.
Yeah, okay. And I think you testified already, you're pretty angry with Ms. Heard, right?
When?
I wrote it down that you
Oh,
were.
about the phony pictures that were taken and put in tabloids, and about the fake narrative, and about and the way she's trying to got a fraudulent DV claim to extort and blackmail a man. Yeah, that kind of got me
Pretty angry with it.
frustrated, confused, angry, upset. Yes, which is why I said the best thing for us to do is not to talk to each other.
Okay.
Yes.
And was it fair to say you're still angry with her?
Oh, you know something? It's 6 years.
But
It's
we just heard you
6
give your
years.
version.
Am I angry anymore? I'm not, what I am is tired, and I want this all to end. Her to go heal, him to go heal. So many people have been affected by this malicious lie that she started and she created, and it's gone out the door and around the world. And so I can't even paint anymore. I've stopped painting for the last who knows how many years, and that's affected by stuff. I'm not angry at anybody. I want the best for her to take her responsibility, heal, and move on. And for Johnny, his family has been completely wrecked by all of this stuff, and it's not fair. It's not right what she did and what happened for so many people to get affected from this. It's insane.
And Mr.
That's
Baruch?
how this happened.
And Mr. Baruch, if in fact she's telling the truth, and if in fact Mr. Depp, who has engaged in enormous rage and domestic abuse and violence of Amber over a period of time that you wouldn't know about, then maybe it's time for him to take responsibility, don't you think?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
Speculation, lack of foundation, relevance.
Speculations.
He just went off on this rant and rave about assuming that she's.
You asked questions.
I didn't ask a question that launched that.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
Okay,
All right, next
you don't.
question.
I'll ask this,
Okay.
Mr. Baruch. You don't know whether Mr. Depp has committed domestic violence of Amber Heard, do you?
I never witnessed. I never saw or witnessed whatever type of claim that is being said, ever. I've
Okay.
never seen him be violent since teenagers from first
I didn't
meeting.
ask you that. I said you don't know whether he has committed domestic violence or abuse on Amber Heard. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. I did
Okay.
not witness any physical
Right.
violence.
But you have seen Mr. Depp use drugs as well as drink and be drunk, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now,
I've
how,
partaken.
I'm going to ask you to take a look. Let's pick up Depp Exhibit number 116 again. It's already in, if we can have that published to the jury.
Ms. Baruch, how much more do you think you have?
I think I can finish it up if you give
Okay,
me
sure,
5 or
sure.
10 more
No,
minutes.
that's well.
Maybe less.
Okay, all right. I'll
Thank
hold
you.
you to that. Okay.
Okay. So, Mr. Bruce, I just want to make sure that I understand. This is the penthouse thing, and you
Ms.
said...
Baruch, if you could go to the microphone, it's just so hard to hear you.
Yep, I just realized that.
Thank you.
Thank
I appreciate
you.
it.
So on this diagram, when you got out of the, you said 9:30 today, but in fact, it was between 9:30 and 10 that you came back with your friend, correct?
No, it was around 9:30. Could be 5 minutes one way, 5 minutes the other way. Could have been.
Do you recall saying it was between between 9:30 and 10 earlier?
Today?
No.
Did I said that?
Do you recall, are you sure it was 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, or could it have been between 9:30 and 10?
It was 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes either way.
And you saw a broken sconce.
No,
Correct.
I did not see a broken sconce.
What did you see?
I saw a broken glass on the floor, shards of glass, pieces of glass, which I figured could have been a broken sconce, or possibly maybe something from the fire department stuff that's around the walls. So it could be something broken from that. But I maybe one of the sconces broke. I didn't see a broken sconce. I just saw the glass.
Okay, was there typically a sconce right there as you come off the elevator?
Yeah, from my memory, there was sconces on the walls, certain places.
Do you remember looking that night and saying, where did this glass come from? There's a broken one. Did you tie it together?
No, it wasn't. It was an assumption. It had to come from some of those places because what the glass looked like to me looked like it might have come from one of those places. Could
Okay.
have been, maybe the sconce.
Okay, when you said from the fire thing, were you talking about the fire extinguisher? and
No,
the
no,
glass
no,
over
not the fire extinguisher. There was in the hallway, that first hallway that you go through, the doors that you walk through after you get out of the elevator, those doors, they're fire doors that you close. All right, hopefully no one gets burned to death. That would be, crazy. But then along the wall, I believe, by the staircase, because there's a door that's next to penthouse 5, then there's the doorway, the stairwell door, and I believe there's a thing that's by the floor there, that's got a glass plastic thing around it, so it could have been something from that.
Your Honor, may I approach?
All right, yes, ma'am. Counsel. Do you have another copy of the deposition?
Is this something for me to look at?
Just wait for a question, sir.
I asked you a few minutes ago whether you were sure that it was 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, or if it could have been somewhere between 9:30 and 10. Do you recall me asking that question?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you to take a look at page 39. Do you recall giving your deposition on November 20, 2019?
Oh, from down in Anaheim?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
And were you under
That's
oath
the
at that
first-
time?
Well, yeah, I
Okay, and
think
that-
that's, I believe so,
It
yeah.
was about 2.5 years ago, wasn't it?
2, 3, like between 2 and 3 years, yeah, sure.
All right, so if you could take a look, starting on page 39.
Hang on a second.
And if you go to the line 21, where were you on the evening of May 21, 2016? And your answer was, all right. So I was out in the street. I was with a buddy of mine, calls me. He asked if I wanted to go out and eat. And I says, I just ate, just meet me. Let's meet at the apartment. Let's go hang out. So I met him at my apartment probably, I want to say around 9:30 or a little bit later. I don't know. Yeah, between 9:30 and 10. Do you see that?
So I met him at my apartment, probably I want to say around 9:30 or a little bit later. I don't know, yeah, between 9:30 and 10.
Okay.
And that ends up,
So does that refresh your recollection that it could have been a little bit, somewhere between 9:30 and 10?
I go more with 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, because it could have been 9:20.
Okay,
It
but,
could have been 9:25.
but-
It could have been 9:35, but I go with 9:30.
okay. And did you see any police officers?
No,
Okay. Did you ever hear any police officers?
no.
Okay. So let's go back to this 116 for a second. And you said that you saw a lot of wine right outside of
Wait a
Penthouse.
second, it's line 115?
Sorry. The exhibit that's in front of you on the screen.
Oh.
So you go by Penthouse, now I have to hurry up to make my promise to Your Honor. So you see Penthouse 1 there, and you said that the wine was in that area, right?
It's in front of the door.
Okay,
It's a little, it's gonna be 1.5 feet, 2 feet up further north.
north, closer on the way to PH3?
No, it's right in front of the doorway. You have it past the doorway, the blue dot.
Yeah,
It's,
that wasn't intentional.
it's just
I can
in
do it.
front of that doorway.
There we go, okay. Can you put the dot exactly where it was? Okay,
Can I move that dot?
and how much wine was there?
It's a puddle
It was a puddle.
of wine.
Could you walk past it without seeing it?
No.
It was, and could you tell a little bit about how much probably had been spilled of the wine? I mean, were we talking like a half a bottle, a bottle?
Looked like, a couple of glasses of wine, making a puddle.
Okay,
Wasn't like a full bottle. It's
Okay.
That's a bit more.
okay, thank you. Your Honor, I do have another exhibit I need to put in, and
Okay.
I think that might take a little bit longer than a couple of minutes.
Well,
So-
how much time were you talking?
Well, I can do it as fast as I can.
You
but-
can try.
Okay,
good.
then can we Heather, can you pick up, well, it's going to be Plaintiff's Exhibit 548. Now, do you have a recollection of Mr. Depp having a volatile relationship with his earlier partner, Vanessa Paradis?
No, but then again, I wasn't. I met her a couple of times. I wasn't. We weren't. Our paths weren't crossing at that particular time when they were together.
All right, do you recall Mr. Depp ever referring to a circumstance with her as carnage?
What's the relevance? Or?
We're talking, he's trying to give character testimony here, and I'll tell you what, I'll move to a different
Okay,
one.
all right.
Now, you said that Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard were, you said that they were always nice to each other?
Yeah.
Do you ever remember Mr. Depp referring to Amber with the term cunt?
Like to her face?
No, no, to you. Calling her a cunt to you.
Maybe in a text.
All right. Did he do it more than once in a text?
I would have no recollection of that. I mean, he's called me a cunt in a text. So, I mean, it could be. I don't know how many texts. If there's something specific, if you could show me a text, that would be a different story. But I don't. You know, we've had many texts together, many you know.
Okay, let's go to line 57 then, it would be section 57 of the exhibit that I have in front of me. Now this is a text message between you and Mr. Depp. Do you see that?
Well, there's 80 million texts on
If you
there.
go down to 50, go to the one that's number 57.
57 from.
Objection, Your Honor.
This is from me to him?
I'm sorry.
May I approach?
Okay, sure.
Are you on 57 yet?
57.
Right. And this is to you, correct, from Mr. Depp?
Is that how it's, it says from to 323-445-2400. That used to be my telephone number, so.
That's two, correct?
Oh, okay, I understand,
right.
Yes.
All right.
That's to me.
All right, and the message he's sending to you, and this is October 18, 2016, is hopefully that
Objection, Your Honor. Exhibit's not in evidence, and she's reading directly from it into the record.
All right.
All right, does this refresh your recollection that Mr. Depp referred to Amber Heard as a cunt, and in fact, cunt's rotting corpse is decomposing?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustain the objection if you could rephrase.
I'll ask it differently. Do you recall Mr. Depp ever telling you that he, in base terms, hoped that Amber's rotting corpse is decomposing
Objection,
in
Your
the
Honor.
trunk of a Honda Civic?
I'll allow it.
I'm not understanding the question. Say it again?
Do you recall Mr. Depp ever telling you that he hoped that Amber Heard's rotting corpse is decomposing in the fucking trunk of a Honda Civic?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
You can answer the question, sir.
Yeah, I say yeah. I'm seeing it here, so obviously, yeah, it was said.
Okay.
It was written.
And then go to 59, please. And when you had to move out of the penthouse to go to Sweetser, do you recall Mr. Depp telling you that this was Amber's fault and referring to her as a cunt?
Can I read this
Yes,
thing
please.
first, so that
Yes,
way I
please.
see what's going on? So now, I've just read this, and I understand, I remember this exactly, because this is the period of time, I'm moving, and that he's selling the apartments, and there's people who are coming over, I'm still living there, and it would have been better off if I moved out, so that way then the real estate people can look at it and not come in and look at the kind of paintings that I make and all that kind of crap.
But my question to you is, do you recall Mr. Depp calling Amber Heard a cunt and saying that it was her fault?
Well, it's written there, so yeah, I could see that.
Okay.
Well, I don't, that's not what he says. He says that cunt ruined such a fucking cool life we had for a while. I don't know, that's not.
And he says, I can't even look at the building anymore, correct?
Right, I can't even
Right.
look at the building
And he's selling
anymore.
it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to move the admission of those two limited. Excuse me, one moment.
Objection, Your Honor. There are some, it's a significant exhibit. There's definitely some hearsay in there.
I think I'll reserve on that, on the entry of that, okay? And we can discuss it later time, okay? Are you done?
I don't, my cookouts was saying I should go with
Or, I'm not going to I'm reserving on whether, so are we done with Cross?
Yes.
Okay, and redirect briefly? We're going to be done with this witness before lunch.
Okay.
There we go.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Baruch, do you recall that Ms. Bredehoff was just asking you some questions about some text messages you received from Mr. Depp?
Yeah.
Do you recall when those text messages were sent?
No, I'd have to look at them again and look at the date.
Could you display it to the witness again, please?
And I believe we looked at lines 59. Excuse me, 57. Do you see the date of when you received that text message?
All right, hang on. October, November. It was the month before I moved out. Okay,
When was that text message sent?
it says 10/18/2016. That's October. I moved out the next month, so in November. So this is from October.
So was that message sent several months after Ms. Heard made claims against Mr. Depp of domestic violence?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll allow it.
Yes, of course. This is after this whole fiasco that she started.
And if we look at line 61,
What am I looking? 6?
what's the date on that message?
It's 10/28, October.
We can take that down. Mr. Baruch, Ms. Bredehoff asked you a series of questions about the security video from the Eastern Columbia building that you observed. Do you recall that?
Yeah, the PAL.
When did you understand that footage was from?
Objection, Your Honor. I already asked and answered. He said he didn't recall.
I'll sustain it, asked and answered.
Did you have an understanding at the time that you saw that video of when it was from?
Objection, Your Honor. Same question.
I'll sustain the objection.
Ms. Bredehoff also asked you a series of questions about the argument that you overheard between Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp on the phone. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And you could hear Ms. Heard's voice on that phone, right?
Yeah.
Do you recall if that was a FaceTime call or if it was just regular speakerphone?
It's just this speakerphone.
And What did you understand her tone to be on that call that you overheard?
I'll allow it if you can answer. It's fine.
Taunting, egging on, almost demeanoring the baby talk.
Yeah, I'll sustain the objection as to his answer, and I'll strike it.
The whole answer, Your Honor?
The answer, yes.
I believe you testified that Mr. Depp hung up the phone during that conversation. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Did you understand that Mr. Depp was trying to end the argument by hanging up the phone?
His understanding of what Mr. Depp was trying to do.
All right, I'll sustain as to past speculation.
Your Honor, he heard the phone call and he was there to directly
But
observe.
what Johnny Depp's intention was, I'll sustain the objection.
I know what my intent.
Sir,
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay, thank you. Wait for the question. Thank you, sir.
What was your understanding of your intent with respect to hanging up the phone on that
Objection,
conversation?
He already asked and answered when he said he hung it up, and so.
It was asked and answered. I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness subject to recall?
Possibly, Your Honor.
There's a silence. Okay, so yes or no, or not for you, not from you?
Yes,
All
yes,
right,
for us.
all right, sir, since you're subject to recall, that means that you may be called again to testify at some point. So that means until that time, the rule on witnesses still is in place for you, so you cannot have any outside information or talk to anybody about your testimony here today, and don't look at any information about this on the news, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. You're free to go at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take our afternoon lunch. We'll give you till 2:30 to take care of lunch again. No outside information, and please don't discuss this case. Okay? All right. Thank you. Have a good lunch. All right. So we'll come back at 2:30 then. Is that correct? All right. Thank you.